I'm here with Dottie, and we're going to read Chapter 3 of Who Was Harriet Tubman? A Free Man's Wife. In 1844, when she was about 23, Harriet fell in love with John Tubman. John's parents had been enslaved, but their owner had freed them at the time of his death. So John was born free. John and Harriet made plans to marry. Harriet began making a quilt. She sewed it from different scraps of cloth. She wasn't used to holding the needle. It was so small. Again and again she dropped it. It was hard to find a needle on the dirt floor. Still, she kept working until the quilt was done. The finished quilt had many colors: yellow, purple, white, and green. It was the most beautiful thing she had ever owned. When she married John and went to live in his cabin, she took the quilt with her. John was happy with their life. He loved Harriet and liked the money she made. They had a cabin of their own, but Harriet worried. What if her new owner wanted to sell her? She and John would be separated. She still thought about escaping. She begged John to go north with her. They would follow the North Star. In the north, Harriet would be a free woman. They both would be free. Abolitionists. Abolitionists were 18th and 19th century reformers who believed slavery was evil and wanted it to end or abolish it. Unlike other anti-slavery supporters who worked toward a gradual end of slavery, abolitionists called for slavery to end immediately. The abolitionist movement started in 1780 in England when William Wilberforce and his followers spoke out against the African slave trade. The American abolitionist movement began in 1831 when William Lloyd Garrison started The Liberator, an anti-slavery newspaper in Boston. But it was not until after the Civil War ended in 1865 that slavery was outlawed in the United States. That was just a little blurb. Now back to the story. John did not want to leave home. It was too dangerous. What would they eat? How would they live? He told Harriet to put escaping out of her mind. She could not. She told him about the dreams she had, dreams of freedom. John told Harriet that if she tried to escape, he would tell the slave owner. He could not risk getting in trouble. After that, Harriet began to fear her husband. John did not share her dream. If she wanted to be free, she would have to go north without John. One day, Harriet was working in a field close to a road. A white woman drove up in a buggy. She wore the plain clothes of a Quaker. She began to talk to Harriet. She asked Harriet her name and how she got the scar on her forehead. Harriet knew Quakers didn't believe in slavery. She could talk to the white woman. She hoped she could trust her. The woman came again on other days too. If no one was watching them, they spoke. She told Harriet that if she ever needed help, she could ask her. In 1849, bad news came to the plantation. Harriet and some of her family were to be sold. Sold! Now she had to escape. she told her brothers. They made a plan. All right, I'm going to read a little blurb about Quakers. Started in England in 1648, the Quakers were a Christian religious group founded by George Fox. They got their name because of Fox's demand that they tremble at the word of the Lord. Quakers led simple lives. Their possessions were few. They were strongly opposed to war. Their religion did not allow them to fight. There are still Quakers today who worship in Quaker meeting houses. There are no ministers or priests. Instead, each member of the group is allowed to speak at the meeting. Quakers are strong believers in equal rights for all people, and they were very opposed to slavery. Many Quakers risked their own safety and freedom by helping enslaved people escape. Back to the story. She decided to run away all by herself. She went to bed as usual. When John was asleep, she got up. Packing was easy. She put a little salt pork and cornbread in a bandana. She took the quilt she had made. She didn't dare take more. Harriet slipped out of the house. Finally, she was on her way to freedom. On her way north, Harriet was going to make her dream come true.